3 years ago, I was sitting on a park bench when my girlfriend with her loving eyes told me that I was not good enough for her. Back then I was 20 pounds overweight, I couldn't hike up an anthill without gasping for air, and I couldn't spend less than 5 minutes on my phone. I used to think that strength meant avoiding pain, staying comfortable, and keeping yourself busy. Real inner strength isn't about dodging the hard stuff, it's about walking straight through the things that scare you the most. Today, I want to go over 3 things that I've learned throughout my personal journey that not only help me build spiritual resilience, but also forge my mind to be able to deal with any challenges that come through my way. 3 pillars that help mold my mindset to be equipped to deal with any challenge that comes my way. So with that out of the way, let's just get right into it. First and foremost, you must embrace heartbreak and learn to overcome it. Late summer 2021, as I was thinking of ways to propose to the woman that I loved with all my heart, she sat me down on a park bench and told me that she was too good for me. While she was climbing the corporate ladder in her field, I was stuck with what I was currently doing. I had the same job and I had the same routine. 2 years together ended, poof, just like that. Heartbreak isn't really about you personally. It's something that we all face. Whether it's getting dumped by your girlfriend, or a family member, or your friends, or the guy that used to cut your hair, you and I have those moments where everything we thought we knew gets completely shattered. These moments aren't always just random bad luck though. They can be God's way of showing you exactly where you've been lying to yourself. That pain doesn't always mean that something's going wrong though. That emotional crisis is like a very powerful knife. It can either cut you down, or cut away the things that have been holding you back in life. The difference isn't always how bad it hurts. More often than not, it's how you choose to deal with that intensity. While I was contemplating Violet's words, I knew that I had 2 options. I could shut down emotionally to protect myself from ever feeling bad again, or I could use that intense energy as fuel to completely rebuild myself. Emotional energy is just energy at the end of the day. Pain, heartbreak, rejection, anger, these things in and of themselves aren't good or bad. It's like a high-octane gasoline. It can either blow up your car, or power it to places you thought you could never go. The same fire that burns down the house can also cook you a 5-star meal. So thankfully for me, God helped me make a choice. I was gonna feel every bit of that shame and embarrassment, but I was also gonna transform it into a laser-focused drive. Sometime after the breakup, as I was getting through some old memorabilia, I saw a picture of me and Violet out in the mountains. Instead of that familiar gut punch, I felt a moment of gratefulness for those moments. These good times weren't just fake just because things ended badly. They're proof that you can connect with someone deeply and have true love inside of you. That capacity doesn't just disappear just because she's gone now. When you can appreciate what was beautiful while releasing what was painful, that's when you can develop a truly incredible freedom. Next, you must learn to seek out physical challenges. Sometime after that breakup, my friend invited me out on this very extravagant hike. I was in decent shape. I could go up a few flights of stairs without feeling all that bad, What was worse that could happen at the time? About a mile up the trail, I was gasping for air like I was drowning on the ground. My legs weighed about 1,000 pounds. Meanwhile, there was this 70-year-old lady that was hiking up and down the trail like nothing happened. That mountain definitely didn't sugarcoat anything for me. It showed me exactly how weak I'd become. Not necessarily physically, but also mentally as well. That's because when my body started screaming at me to quit, my first thought wasn't necessarily I can overcome this, but it was to find an excuse and to give up. Comfort isn't neutral. Every time you choose the easy way over the hard way, you're training yourself to be weak. You're teaching your brain that when things get rough, that the right move is to just bail out. I'm not saying to pursue these physical challenges just so that you can get into shape, but it's also about rewiring your brain as well. When you voluntarily put yourself through that discomfort, you're teaching your nervous system how to handle that stress and adversity. I started doing cold showers every morning at 5 a.m. 2 minutes under that cold water so that it would make me shake and hyperventilate. I realized that it wasn't really all that dangerous. It was just kind of uncomfortable. And I know I could handle uncomfortable. Pursuing these physical challenges will teach you the difference between real danger and just being uncomfortable. Most of the things that we experience in life that we feel is unbearable is mostly just uncomfortable. When you expose yourself to these types of challenges, you develop an immunity to stress. Every choice that you make is like casting a vote for the person that you want to become. The discipline that you build pushing through those physical challenges will show up in every other aspect of your life. When you train your nervous system to stay calm when your body is under stress, it learns to stay calm when your minds and emotions are also under stress. That physical training changed how I looked at obstacles. When my friends needed someone to have those tough conversations with, I volunteered instead of avoiding it like I used to. I started to get excited about these challenges instead of dreading them. Every obstacle becomes a chance to practice that mental toughness that you will be able to build every single day. Physical challenges give you rock solid proof that you're way tougher than you think you are. When you know that you can push through physical discomfort, Mental, spiritual, and emotional stuff becomes way more manageable. The discipline that you build pushing through those physical challenges will show up in every other aspect of your life. When you train your nervous system to stay calm when your body is under stress, it learns to stay calm when your minds and emotions are also under stress. That physical training changed how I looked at obstacles. When my friends needed someone to have those tough conversations with, I volunteered instead of avoiding it like I used to. I started to get excited about these challenges instead of dreading them. Every obstacle becomes a chance to practice that mental toughness that you will be able to build every single day. Physical challenges give you rock solid proof that you're way tougher than you think you are. When you know that you can push through physical discomfort, mental, spiritual, and emotional stuff becomes way more manageable. Lastly, you must learn to live in solitude. When you learn to do this, other people's opinions stop controlling your life. When you know who you are in silence, when you've learned to face your real self and actually like that person, you develop an unshakable core that can't be messed with. About 6 months into practicing this, I went to a party where I didn't know that many people. Instead of feeling anxious, I felt genuinely calm. I could just observe, listen, and be present without needing to perform to get other people to like me. Being good with people isn't really about social skills. It's about being good with yourself. When you're genuinely comfortable alone, you show up to every interaction from a place of choice, not need. Nobody can manipulate you with the threat of rejection, because rejection doesn't define who you are at your core. My relationships got so much better because I stopped being needy and constantly seeking validation. I could appreciate people without clinging to them. I made decisions based on what I actually wanted, instead of what others expected of me. I could quit jobs that looked impressive but made me feel miserable, and friendships that were just based on habits instead of real connections. That strength that comes from mastering solitude can't be taken away because it doesn't depend on anything outside of you. These three things, transforming pain, embracing discomfort, and mastering solitude, work together to create what I call integrated strength. This isn't that brittle toughness that comes from avoiding hard stuff. It's flexible resilience that comes from learning how to work skillfully with whatever life throws at you. When you can turn emotional pain into creative fuel, you become anti-fragile. You actually get stronger from adversity instead of just surviving it. When you're genuinely comfortable with your own company, other people's opinions can't control you anymore. You develop what ancient philosophers called equanimity, being able to meet success and failure, praise and criticism, and bad times with the same inner stability. You can love deeply without being possessive, work passionately without being attached to outcomes, face challenges without being overwhelmed by them. This path requires you to do things that may feel backwards at the moment, feeling pain fully instead of numbing it, seeking discomfort instead of avoiding it, embracing silence instead of being constantly distracted. These things work because they address the root causes of inner weakness, instead of just putting band-aids on the symptoms. The choice is yours, make it count.